Hi, everyone. Dr. Frankie here, and it's Thursday, and I'm happy to be here with you all to cover a really important topic. I know I say that every week, but I truly, truly believe that these topics are super, super important. And they're topics that you actually bring up oftentimes or come up naturally in the work that I do. Ooh, I have something in my throat. Anyway, so for those of you who are not familiar with me and my work, I'm a clinical psychologist and a board certified sex therapist. I'm also the CEO of Little Gay Book Matchmaking and Little Black Book Matchmaking. So if you're single, get into our free database by visiting us at drfrankie.com, or you can fill out a profile at littlegaybook.com. And if you are just wanting to have a healthier relationship, you're partnered and you're wanting to improve communication or your sex life, or you're single and you're struggling to find amazing partners or an amazing partner, then you have come to the right place. Every week I cover different topics that really are things that we should be considering, working on, and talking more about. And I even cover topics that people have a really hard time talking about. So thanks for tuning in today. If you like what you hear, I want to encourage you to hit the little bell icon right down below and select all for notifications, and you'll be sure to see my weekly content. And for those of you who've already subscribed to my channel, thank you, thank you, thank you. We have over 15,000, we're approaching 16,000, something like that, subscribers. So you remind me that I actually am putting out material that is helpful, that you all want to hear. So thank you for that. Thanks for giving me the love. And I'm excited to talk about today's topic, which is 7 ways to improve your sex life without stepping outside of your bedroom. Yeah, without stepping outside of your bedroom. Imagine that. By far, one of the most common issues in a relationship is dissatisfaction with the amount of sex in it. Sometimes this is because partners in the relationship have different libidos or sexual tastes, and sometimes both partners wish they were having more sex. But something isn't clicking. Regardless of the reason, many couples try the same things to get past it. Having sex even more when one or both people don't feel like it, scheduling sex, or even opening up the relationship. If these strategies work for you, then sure, that's great. If you're still struggling, I have a surprising suggestion for you. You might have more success tackling the disconnect in your sex life outside of your bedroom. I'm going to share 7 ideas for your relationship that may shift things in your sex life without ever leaving, like ever stepping into the bedroom. And here we go. Spend more time apart. Paradoxically, when you want to feel closer and more connected to your partner, it can help for both of you to invest intentionally in your lives outside of each other. As the saying goes, how can I miss you if we're never apart from each other? Even when you love your partner and want to spend all your time together, the extreme level of familiarity that entails can stop eroticism in its tracks. Try spending time with friends, doing hobbies, spending time with family and interests separately, and see what shifts in the time you spend together. Level up your communication. People repeat that communication is key ad nauseum, right? But it's the truth, and that's why you keep hearing it come up again and again. Often we interpret this to mean communication about the hard stuff, problems in your relationship, things you take issue with, and that is important and sure needs to be discussed. It's impossible to have a healthy sex life if one or both of you is harboring resentments you aren't discussing openly. Remedying that is definitely a necessary step. Sometimes, though, we focus on the big C, communication, and we lose sight of the day-to-day communication that forms the glue of a relationship. When was the last time you asked about your partner's best friend at work? Do you still tell each other anecdotes about trivial interactions you had at the grocery store? When you were first dating, you wanted to know everything about each other, even tiny, minute day-to-day things. Try spending a week committing to asking about the details of your partner's life and really listening to the answers, inviting them to share further with genuine intention and investment. Notice what changes in the time you spend together. including in bed. Start an activity together outside of the bedroom. We often talk about sex as a way to reconnect, and it is, but it's hard to have sex if you're already feeling disconnected, right? Explore activities you can do together that rely on cooperation, communication, and problem solving together. Maybe it's learning a new skill together, like bread baking, or maybe it's something smaller stakes, like doing the crossword together or breakfast on Sundays. It sounds trite, but real intimacy is built from thousands of small interactions like this. Finding situations where you can be on each other's team and solve challenges together, and where you can build routines and rituals together, that will increase intimacy across all parts of your life, including the bedroom. Try sleeping separately. I know that sounds really strange, but something to consider. And it also sounds counterintuitive, but some living couples find that their relationship is transformed in positive ways by sleeping in separate bedrooms. It's possible that you're relying on routines around sleep for your sex life, assuming that sex will organically happen when you go to bed. But differences in your sleep style means this never happens. If you usually go to bed at 8:30 p.m. because you have to get up at 5 a.m., but your partner stays up until 11 p.m. gaming with their friends, you aren't going to naturally end up having sex without discussion about it. Separate bedrooms can helpfully force you to communicate about this more actively. And it may be easier and more fun to have sex when you aren't harboring resentments about your partner snoring, cold feet, and need to sleep with white noise playing or earplugs. Masturbate on your partner. For some people, part of the point of being in a healthy relationship is that they don't have to masturbate because they have a sexual partner. But especially as our relationships stretch into the long term, we can risk losing sight of our individual sexual selves and relying on our partner for all the desire and eroticism in our lives. Masturbating regularly helps you stay connected. It helps you reconnect when you actually feel like doing something sexual and what it feels like to be aroused. It invites you to think actively about your own fantasies and your desires rather than letting your sex life keep going on autopilot. Besides that, it helps remind you of what feels good to you and how you like to be touched, or even teaches you something new you can teach your partner about yourself. Bring flirting back into play. When you look at successful couples who are not only together after a long period of time, but still seem crazy about each other, they often have this in common. They still flirt with each other, even if they've been together 30 years. We tend to think of flirting as how we catch somebody's interest before we get together with them. And we stop doing so once we settle with them and into a real relationship, like living together. But the frisson of flattery and desire you get from your crush flirting with you doesn't have to go away after you settle into a relationship with them, and can be powerful. It can fuel a lot of immediate sense of attraction and intimacy that actually carries into the bedroom. Try treating your partner like you're still angling for a first date. Compliment their outfit with visible appreciation. Talk about how much you want to see them or how much you've been thinking about them. Consider getting into sexting if you haven't already. And you can actually look up one of my videos. Maybe I have several of them actually by now on how to actually sext if that's not something you're comfortable with or familiar with. You'd be amazed at how much of a difference it can make in your sex life to experience reminders of how attracted you both were to each other in the beginning. So that's what I got for you today. And if you have any reactions, thoughts, feedback, suggestions, I want to hear them all. So definitely comment and I'll do my best to respond. And I will see you all next Thursday. And I hope everybody has a great week. Hugs, kisses, take care.